And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, for this, the, third hour? Yeah, third hour of this issue of Masks: A New Generation, Halcyon City Defenders. So, just to do a quick retcon here of your situation, because it was brought to my attention, correctly so, that Vigil, you presently have 5 conditions, but that does not take you out. It is if you need to mark a condition and you cannot, that you are KO'd. So you have had, like, it is as we have seen, right? You've been thrown through the air. You've had, like, a harsh and, like, painful and damaging impact with the wall and the metal creature that you've went through. The enemy has been defeated, and Starlight has been KO'd for the moment. However, you are then able to, like, get up, dust yourself off, and limp back down. Or however injured you imagine you are. I'm imagining it's kind of like as a significant injury, but you feel free to tell me. But yeah, there is a moment here where all of you have like a silence starts permeating the room, as there is just the smoldering wrecks of your vanquished foes in the rooms.
I think instinctively Sparrow will have tried to cover Money Clone with her body because, you know, oh no, innocent nearby, must protect.
Yep.
So I think she looks up and says, "What was that?"
There's just silence from Diamond, who's now standing in the middle of the wreckage, holding Starlight, whom she caught as she fell, as Daniel said, and just brushing her hand, you know, her fingers gently over Starlight's forehead and face, clearing, you know, hair out of her face, out of her eye, and looking completely distraught.
You're pleased to see that she's alive.
But she's alive, yes. But she has a significant gash in her head after that blow.
Yes, exactly.
I think that Nightshade had also stood around the monoclone and just kind of says out loud to everybody, like, we're definitely having a team meeting after this.
Mommy is not mad. Mommy is very, 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 very disappointed. We need to talk.
Mommy isn't disappointed. Mommy is infuriated, but keeping herself under control with prescription medication and alcohol.
I think Sparrow stands up and puts a hand on Nightshade's arm and says, "Maybe we should have someone carry Starlight out." And I think she kind of glances at Vigil.
Yeah, I move over to Vigil to see if he is okay.
Well, the short end of that story is Vigil is not okay.
Yeah.
Vigil could be in a better shape, but of course, as we also know in this game, right? Like, masks, even though you are injured, you can still participate in the action. Mm-hmm. You can just as well have the story of how you, with a broken leg, defeat the speedster, right? It's about the conditions, and you're not in a good place right now.
When you approach Finn, he's probably he was still slumped up against the wall because of the impact. He was slightly embedded in the wall. But when you try to help him or anything, he probably just slaps your hand away, spits blood, and I'm fine. Just, we have a job to do, stuff.
I think Nightshade doesn't say anything, but nods respectfully and gives you his hand to help you up.
Yeah, he's
like a warrior. All right.
Nope. Don't touch me.
Yeah,
and he's holding his rib area, just to designate that he is actually hurt, but just
Yeah, it hurts to breathe.
Yeah. He just probably gives a pissed glance to Diamond, but just immediately turns away and just
He is not alone in giving a pissed look to Diamond.
Yeah, he's like, he probably would immediately start looking for something to do. Maybe, oh yeah, I know what he's doing. He would go to the pile of guards and stuff like that. People, if he can find out somebody with the high enough rank. Like, do they have like rank designations on their uniforms or something like that?
There are no KO'd guards in this room. Among the people behind you, like behind in the beginning of the facility, were uniformed guards, not researchers. This room in essence is kind of like a middle way point in the continuation of rooms. There is a securely locked doorway, like sliding heavy security door in the other end of the room. That is presently locked and barred under like locked by the security system. But that is what is there, like beyond the way you entered.
Then probably he would be going towards the door, trying to open it, probably somehow, like force it open, maybe.
Yeah, no, but I mean that's not really a problem between the lot of you, right? It's a security door, but it's not like it is not that kind of security door that I'm gonna make you roll for. It is a big scary metal door that you can get through because there are a couple of you who are very strong.
I think we aren't really in a position to teamwork right now. I don't know. Sparrow at least goes to Diamond and asks, "Is she okay?"
Diamond doesn't respond. She looks stricken.
I think Nightshade is helping Vigil open the door. Like each of us on either side of the door, pulling it open.
Yeah, you manage to like with a screech of metal, like just pull it apart enough for you to be able to like go through it sideways.
Hey, Daniel.
Yep.
With any luck, tell Starlight can be the new Mark.
Oh,
wow, Jesus.
I don't think the damage was that severe.
No.
I know.
Yeah, the three of you, like the girls are basically gathered around in one end of the room, in the opposite end of the room. The boys have wrenched open a door far enough for you to pass through. But yeah, as the two of you like look back, Starlight and White Sparrow and Diamond are like clustered together.
Diamond? I think she kind of, snaps her fingers in front of her face.
Diamond does look up, but she's still not saying anything.
And Sparrow briefly glances towards the boys, and then he says, "Perhaps you should get Starlight out of here. Get her to safety."
Yeah, she doesn't say anything. She nods and begins to walk.
So to put it on you here, just to like, I'm not saying you cannot do this. I'm informing you that there is a hell of a long way back up outside, and back up outside is still inside a medical facility owned by your enemy that's presently on lockdown.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying that this is a significant detour for one of you that ultimately is going to end on like it is a non-optional approach to the problem. But with all that said, that is just me trying to shed light on the situation, not telling you not to do so.
I think somebody else is going to have to stop her. Is basically the point, because she does not think that far right now.
You should take her out. Yes, okay, I'm gonna start walking. Right, like it's
pretty much that's really it. She is not in a emotionally speaking, she is not in a position right now where she can make a. She's not in a position where she can make a choice about. She can't argue back. She can't make that kind of statement saying that that's impractical. That's just.
I get you. Like I myself have been in that kind of state where the only thing you can really do is pay attention to the fact that you're walking.
Yes, and somebody else is telling you to do something which is really, really good, because if somebody else did not actually take charge in that situation, you wouldn't be able to act at all.
Right? Yeah. So we see we see Diamond like start moving, which is like all of you basically like realize that is a long drudging way up into whatever like enforcement is coming to reinforce this location. Like
I think
you don't know what it is, right? It could be like police that's like arriving on scene. It could be riot control. It could be extra security forces. It could be black helicopters. But it's very unlikely that nothing is coming to this facility right now. And yeah, it's not the right solution.
Well, as the one who suggested it, I don't think Sparrow is going to stop her.
Makes sense.
I think Nightshade sees them talking, and then sees Diamond going off in like the opposite direction. He yells back, "Hey, we have a job to do. We're not done yet. You can bring her with you."
That makes her stop and look up, and she looks confused.
She's
now got conflicting instructions.
Are you saying that this would be a good moment for Nightshade to try to provoke Diamond?
That's exactly what I'm trying to do.
All right. Why don't we have you roll to provoke Diamond? See if you can snap her back to reality and hopefully retain gravity.
Would this I'm gonna angle for that it would be a +1 going forward to getting Daniel back for my move that I had going last session. Would that apply to this, trying to get Diamond back on track?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
I see something in chat here that implies something's going on. AJ, could you... oh, shit, AJ is... there she is.
Here she is.
She just relocked.
AJ, speak to us. See if we can hear you.
No.
There you are. Great. So let's... we're going to resolve your role.
Okay.
Thelmid, and then I wanna know what AJ had on her mind.
All right.
So,
sounds good.
Yeah. You very successfully rolled to manipulate Starlight. Sorry.
No.
Diamond.
Diamond, yes.
Since this is a PC thing, you get to choose both options here. You can both offer carrot and stick. What is it you are trying? Like, be specific here, right? Like, my understanding is you want to snap Diamond out of it, but just in your own words.
Provoke her to stop what she's doing and come in the direction that Vigil and I are, because we still have a mission to complete. We're not done yet.
All right. And your way of doing that was to call out the way you did before.
Yep.
All right. So, Joan, do you reckon that you are sufficiently provoked by this? If you are, you can add a team to the pool and not mark a condition.
I'd say definitely. If she's told to come in that direction, she will definitely turn and walk in that direction. So yeah.
All right. So you get a team, and
she's still non-communicative. She's still not speaking.
Yeah, it's not like this is like completely being like, okay, I'm good now, right? But it's just like there is a there's like a kernel of your personality that's like, oh wait, okay, let's.
He's giving me I think, quite frankly, what's happening right now is that she is reacting to what she sees as a legitimate order. And
right, the ranking officer is giving an order.
Exactly.
Cool. I think
there's a serious breakdown in the software in there right now.
All right. So, White Sparrow.
Yes.
Ah, shit. No, I need. Remind me to come back to you. Before I forget, I need to know what AJ wanted to say.
Really not needed now, though.
Okay, fine. In that case, then if you would, then if you don't think it's necessary now, then I will continue my current train of thought. White Sparrow. Nightshade just like do you feel a specific way when Nightshade overrides you like that? Does that like is it just a matter of being like, oh okay, well I guess we're doing that, or does it mean something more to you? Like is he being a dick in your mind?
I think there's definitely like a close up of Sparrow's face as she frowns, because to her it's equally as important to keep your teammates safe. Also, it seemed like a good idea to split those two up for the time being. That being said, I think when she thinks about it, she might realize that, yeah, that probably would not have ended well.
All right.
So, in the end, she goes over to Money Clone, and in a kind of transforming while engulfing her, and afterwards, she's in the shape of a gorilla with Money Clone on her back in a way that she doesn't fall off, so she can bring her as well.
So,
Not a kangaroo and have her in the pouch.
I think she's too big for that.
Very large
so
kangaroo.
the form of
dire kangaroo.
The form of Money Clone is shuddering on the floor as you approach, seeming quite cold. But there's also like the issue of like this like long plastic tube coming out and like attaching to a mask that's strapped to her face, and like another like set of diodes and stuff like that, basically embedded in her, reaching back into the pod itself.
Can I assess the situation to see if I think she would suffer harm if I disconnected her?
No.
Yeah, sure, let's do that. If you fail, then that is absolutely the case. It will. So let's have you roll plus superior. There it is. What would you like to ask me?
Let me just open the move.
Could be something like, what here can I use to safely extract Monica's Money Clone, whatever.
Yes, I think that's a good one.
Okay, so in that case, you realize that there's an issue here, right? So you quickly like consult the display outside, which miraculously has survived the onslaught of fire.
Woo!
And you like manage to just like interact with it for a moment and like power all like the functions down and basically like put her body in a stage where extracting these things isn't gonna cause like irreparable damage, and so you can pick the diodes from her person, which are like really like creepily like that's like this is the ick moment, right? When you're like, oh, I'm gonna tug on this wire and it's just like this way too long metal needle that's embedded in her, and that has to happen like a couple of times. It's just like, oh god, ick. And then finally extracting a long tube from that's just like wedged down her throat. Yeah, in the end you have this like almost fully formed but not quite fully formed clone of Monica LaFay, like in your arms, like shaking with cold, and being generally unresponsive.
Yeah, and I think since she is shaking with cold, I'll take the advice the others offered, and rather than slinging her over my back, I'll carry her in a big kangaroo pouch, because then she'll be right next to my body, which has body heat.
Smart.
Interesting. Okay. So, yeah, a lot of you can like emerge through the door at the end of the room and continue into the facility as you move along. Now, someone remind me if someone here is mask savvy. For how long, generally speaking, would Starlight be KO'd by this?
I think technically system describes it for us. Like you basically are KO'd from this scene.
Okay. So in that case,
Now there's an echo, by the way, if that's what you're testing.
yes, there is.
Hmm?
All right.
Well, I'm not talking.
No, but sure.
All right. Since you're not talking, AJ, let me just. Oh, I can't hear myself right now.
Me neither.
Sweet.
It went away.
All right.
Maybe it's the same thing as Rasmus has done. If he doesn't talk in a while, then suddenly echo everywhere.
It might be
Could
that
be.
the noise gating becomes extra sensitive if you're not giving any input yourself. That might be the case,
Yeah.
but it doesn't
Yeah.
matter because
No, because we fixed that.
That's true. Well, that's fine. It's not like it's an issue or anything. So, I think as we see you like moving forward through the facility, eventually, Starlight, you come to. You like shake off the darkness and like you start like it's like for you it's like this like whatever black dreams you have like in your concussed skull, and like little light mode starts appearing before your eyes, and then you feel like this kind of like swaying, sagging sensation, and as you peer open, the light hurts your eyes, and eventually you kind of like regain your senses, and you're being carried by Diamond, and you have this like tremendous pain in the back of your skull. Feels like your head's about to crack in half.
Probably because it almost is.
What did I drink last night?
So the rest of you can of course hear the belabored moans of Starlight regaining consciousness.
There's a big kangaroo looking down at her, saying, "Hey there, welcome back."
The concussion was more severe than you thought, Starlight.
I was about to say.
She looks at this kangaroo for a long while. I'm still sleeping, ain't I?
Oh no, it's me, Sparrow.
Fucking weird Sparrow.
Yeah. How are you feeling?
Like I drank something I shouldn't have and now have a very terrible hangover.
I don't think that's far off. I think you hit your head.
I need to go on.
She just groans calmly.
Need to interject here, Thalmid. Don't think I don't see you making fucking Twilight references in the chat. Stop that immediately.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No, please, continue. I needed to put an end to that.
Yes. Thank you. I very much appreciate that.
I was just about to call him out on it.
The kangaroo gently strokes Starlight's hair and says, "Well, we're moving right now, so gather your strength."
How am I moving?
Diamond's carrying you.
Oh. She looks up at Diamond, then flicks her nose.
There's no response.
Hey, Diamond. Down here. But you move your hand a little.
She's kinda unresponsive right now.
Yep.
And well, then I guess I hop along.
Hop. Hibbity hoppity hibbity hoppity.
Yep.
Poor little money clone being shaken about, shaken not stirred.
I kinda imagine she's in a fetal position inside the pouch.
Yeah.
Kind of like hanging out a bit. Being like,
Hey, there's a teeth.
Yuck.
What?
I don't know that you're aware of this, but kangaroo baby diet is not a nice thing.
No, but the teeth are inside the pouch. That's the only reason I said it.
Yep. All right. So let me just quickly wash that image away, and then okay. So
suddenly, White Sparrow stops up with a weird look on her face.
So emerging further on into this facility, as you do, you let's see. Yep, that's definitely okay. So as you progress through the facility, you arrive at what you believe to be like the central heart of this particular laboratory. It is a very very scientifically sophisticated series of octagonal rooms that are like adjoining in a cross pattern, So it's like this like series of like sloping walls in like multiple stages and stories with gangways crisscrossing and like upper platforms going on. All of it seeming to surround like a very complex set of like large sophisticated machines that are processing giant vats of fluids in like multicolored fluids, like being processed in separate tanks connected by hoses and like having all sorts of like hydraulics going on around them. Like there's this like giant biochemical engineering station surrounded by all sorts of like sweet looking, sleek cyber age equipment. And as you look upon this magnificent machinery, you spy across the way, perched on one of the platforms, presently working at a station, by the main machinery in the heart of the chamber, is a guy you recognize. It's an elderly white gentleman wearing a lab coat and with a World War I mustache. It is the form of Riley Newman, the ex-military bioscientist who used to work for Van Halen.
Oh.
And he's presently like tampering with this machinery, doing whatever like working whatever vile designs he has on this place.
Doing whatever villainy he's doing.
Exactly, precisely. And upon your entering, there's like the hiss of the door behind you as it like slides shut. And there's like a loud magnetic clunk from the door, and a voice on a speaker system like speaks in a robotic female voice saying, "Trespassers detected. Trespassers detected. Warning. Engaging perimeter defenses. Internal sanctum is under attack." And as this like voice speaks up over the comms, you see this guy like stop what he's doing and look up, and he cracks a self-assured smile and walks towards the edge of the platform he's standing on, like standing by the rail, and looking across the way to you as a bunch of machinery all around you starts powering up and starts like charging with electricity. We see like multicolored fluids start being pumped through hoses. We see like copper spools start like glowing with power. We see electricity gauges start filling. And he looks across to you and he says, "Ah, finally! I did not expect you would make it this far."
This is a voice that we agreed that he had been there when Diamond was created, right?
Yep.
Yep. So that probably sinks through.
I don't know who you are, but I do recognize one of you. The rest of you, not so much. But I would never forget my own handiwork. Yes.
Diamond puts Starlight down. She's able to stand on her own now anyway, right?
Yeah, you can kind of like get your footing as you're put back down. You're like, oh, okay, it's sailing. Okay, I'm good.
I'm fine. I'm only seeing double.
So, you lots, why have you come here to defile my work? Frustrating. A bunch of children. Shouldn't you be studying? Doing something other than interrupting geniuses like myself?
Is he standing behind anything like green, a shield, and anything?
There is no visible barrier between him and you. He seems to just be standing there while like the machinery is doing a bunch of work. And he looks to you like with the kind of like, you know, the condescending, infuriating nature of not just an adult who thinks he's talking to kids, but like a generally condescending ass of an adult. Like that's just like the compound value of shittiness oozing off this guy.
So, Pala squared.
Yes.
Nightshade is going to look around at the machinery as it is starting to power up, and he wants to see exactly what these defenses are. So I would like to assess the situation.
Interesting. All right. So why don't we have you roll plus superior? There we go. Look at that roll, though. So
there we go.
So sharp. All right. So you may ask me 2 questions from this list as you gaze around this room. Now, admittedly, you cannot see all the room, but you may still ask these questions, and I'll answer them as honestly as I'm able.
What here is the biggest threat?
Interesting. So the biggest threat here is the machinery itself. The machinery is presently clearly like concocting, having finished concocting some kind of compound from like existing poisons that look very much like the Ares gas that you have been dealing with so far, except you see placed like in insertion slots on the side of this mechanism is the drained form of whatever like of the chemical canister that Wisecrack stole from Mountain Works Chemicals has been inserted into this thing and has been drained. So this machine has combined or done something with these things and is now powering up, preparing to do something horrible. That probably has something to do with the vents pointing up through the ceiling. I say vents. I mean like pipes leading from the machinery up through the ceiling.
And second question is, how could we best end this quickly?
I'm good for answering that, but my question to you would be what it is you attempt to end, because this situation as a whole can go many ways. And can end many ways. So what would you argue for? Like, what is it that what is this that you wish to end quickly?
I'm guessing I'm going to go with like the machinery, the defenses. How can we nullify them and prevent it from doing whatever it can to what it's doing?
The best way to end that in this case would be to it is not to try to destroy the machinery, because it is complicated and sufficiently hardcore looking to take a while to break down. The quickest way to ending this would be to like break through the system, like get him to disengage it, or disengage it yourself if you have any skills in that matter, right? Like
okay.
Unfortunately, none of you are a hacker, but like you might still be able to do something. Alternatively, like find some way to fuck with the machinery, right? Like make it end itself rather than trying to like break it apart, because breaking it apart is gonna need Diamond working overtime in a way that you might not have.
Then you're a jacker hacker.
I think at this point, yeah, well, I think we may not have that long, because I think the pipes leading up basically means he's about to gas the whole town.
In that case, if I may.
Yeah, what would you like to do, Wet Sparrow?
I think the kangaroo turns into Sparrow, and she places Money Clone on the ground.
He scowls as he sees you leave a unfinished clone on his on his floor.
And she kind of kneels, beside her as he places her gently on the ground and says, "So you're proud of your handiwork? Well, then you should really enjoy this." And as she says that, Lightwing lands on her shoulder, and she taps into all the trauma inside of the money clone in order to create constructs to, well, attack everything. So basically nightmares come true.
Interesting. That sounds cool.
Sounds like you're definitely channeling Raven by now.
Yeah, that's not a healthy thing for her, but I think she's quite done with this whole place.
So let's see. This to me like smells very much of a doom sign you don't have. Now that does not mean I am completely opposed to it. It just means
Let me put it this way, Daniel.
Yeah.
If I mark my doom track, I can unlock a new doom sign.
Interesting. I see what you're saying. All right. So what you're saying here is that okay, no, you know what? That's fine. But here's the dealio then. Because I see what you're trying to do. Like this is White Sparrow realizing that she has something more to pull on, right? Like there is like she could get some more power if only she could like touch that like the beating heart of Black Raven just a bit more, because you've realized that there's something there, right?
Yeah.
So what you're doing here is to like deliberately trying to call on that power. I will totally allow that on one condition. And that is that to get that doom track, to get that last point on your doom track to unlock the next doom sign, and then and then spend the spend an extra doom to activate it later on.
Yes.
You are going to have to get that by violating your precepts. You cannot simply tap into Black Raven. You have to do the thing that advances your doom track.
So in that case, the most obvious one would be to harm an innocent, and I'm guessing perhaps tapping into all this trauma is incredibly unpleasant for Money Clone.
Yeah, basically, you can do this if you are willing to damage whatever frail consciousness exists in this clone of Monica LaFey. If you are willing to break that, you can mark your doom sign. Right, breaking that would be drawing out that trauma, getting that power.
Yes. Yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's descend a little further into darkness.
Sweet. All right. Very cool. So, first and foremost, roll to unleash your powers to do this in the first place. Mark your doom track. This is for you. This is for you drawing out her trauma.
Yes. I just need to check something.
All right, this entire outfit is going to hell.
Yes, so I mark my doom track.
Yep.
Oh, and then I clear it and unlock infinite power.
Yes. How does this doom sign manifest on your person? Because this is definitely the moment, like your red, weird-looking arm, like, is now no longer the only thing on your person being weird and off-putting.
No. I think the redness, it spreads across her chest and down the other arm. And it kind of has a sort of unnatural, her arm twitches unnaturally as she unleashes this.
Sweet. All right. So roll plus freak to extract her trauma. Right. You will get that doom track mark no matter what. I'm just gonna see if pulling out her trauma is gonna fuck you up.
Yes, and since I had Lightwing aid me, I'll add a bonus of 1, so I might not fail this totally. But I did.
All right. Yeah, so this is definitely gonna fuck you up. Absolutely mark guilty.
Yeah. I'm guessing I can feel as this had some consequences I had not quite considered.
yeah, this is like I don't know how exactly you wish to flavor that, but in my mind, your decision to do this is like the split-second angry decision of being like, you know what, no, fuck you in particular. And I know exactly how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna use the darker infinite powers. And as you do so, you realize exactly what's gonna happen, and you're like, no shit, fuck. And at that point, it's already too late, right? Like, it's that you have broken something that you cannot put back together. All right. So yeah, congratulations on your infinite powers. Hope it was worth it.
Nope.
Now, as you do so, and as you like rear up now with a darker, a more malicious power roaring away inside you, like a screaming face, like the screaming face of a coiling serpent in your heart. You start like being able to draw on these powers, and as this happens, suddenly, with no warning, Diamond just like fucking starts clearing the room, just making a direct leap for
tucks her shoulders and goes directly for him.
All right.
What?
Yep. So I got whispered, but yeah, generally speaking, like don't whisper me with that stuff. But I'm okay with that. So, yeah. So we see Diamond start charging, and as she does so, Dr. Newman, like there's a significant distance between you. So he looks at you, like cocks his head, looking smug and self-assured. He's like, tut, tut, tut. I do hate being reminded of my failures. Oh well. Deal with her. Oh, sorry, she's like, deal with it, is what she he says. And from the ceiling, we see a shape fall, like with the crushing impact of a meteor, striking down the floor, like in your path, Diamond. And it is even bigger, even meaner looking Daniel Thornton. His form enormously weirdly muscly, protruding veins, his eyes like just completely wide in the nonsense madness of like all consuming fury. He lands and he's like raises his arms above his head and starts charging in the opposite direction towards you, Diamond.
Yeah.
And yeah, you like, so I want to say like, and you just like crash together, but I want to acknowledge the other people in the scene too.
She is not trying to charge him.
No, I know.
She will try. She will attempt to avoid getting entangled with him.
Sweet. All right. So we can definitely have a look at that. But I want to also like quickly have the reaction of the others. So Starlight, Vigil, Nightshade. This happens. What do you do?
Since it's a new scene, I guess I'm gonna flare up again and jump right behind the bastard to knock him out.
All right. So, roll to flare up.
Yeah. I wear a dum-dum and lock.
Also,
I have a question here before we do that.
Yes.
Because I unlocked my moment of truth last time.
I also have something I need to address, but yeah, go on.
How does that work?
If you so a moment of truth is like the a definitive character moment.
Yeah.
It is I'm wanting for like a point of comparison from any piece of media, but the classic.
Well, the Bull's moment of truth is, this is what you do best. You let loose all pent up strength and rage and glee, and you break whatever stands in your way. You are a walking demolition crew. What can stand up to you? Nothing. Not buildings, not structures, not enemies, nothing. Of course, now the people who changed you know exactly where to find you.
Yeah, but that's the thing, because he's one of the people who changed me. I figured this would be the logical place to actually use it.
You could do that. You can use your moment of truth whenever you want to. Now, in my opinion, of course, there is a thematic association with your moment of truth, right? Like, moment of truth is not for foiling a bank robbery, right? Like,
No.
I guess it could be, right, because you're free to use it whenever you want. But there is, like, in my opinion, certain moments it lends itself better to than others. And if you think this is such a moment, you feel free to cut loose with that, and it would basically, like, shift the scene in you would gain the moment of truth as described, right? Like, you were going to break through shit, like, and I'm just gonna sit back with crossed arms and enjoy it.
I was gonna say, if you didn't activate yours, Joan, I was definitely gonna activate mine.
Yeah. And what happens when you do so? Is it something about you lock one of your stats or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you lock
you
one
lock
of your
one.
labels, and then you just take narrative control of the scene. You just describe what happens.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna use it.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my moment of truth.
Trigger your moment of truth, please.
What happens is that she sees this gigantic creature coming towards her. She has no interest in fighting Daniel Thornton. She now knows who it is. She doesn't want to fight him because he's not the target here. There's somebody on the other side of Daniel Thornton who has the answer to the question she needs answered the most of all. And consequently, she it's with desperation, it's with fury and hatred and anger and pain. It's all of these things inside her. She leaps up to because he's much taller. Daniel is much taller than she is now, from what you described.
Yeah,
because he's basically grown into this monstrosity. So she leaps up into the ground, or into the air, and literally does the whole, Superman punch thing, socking him so hard, so precisely, and so accurately that he just goes down like such a sack of potatoes. She continues over him, lands on top of on top of what's his name again, the git on the other side, the scientist.
Newman?
Yeah, Newman. She lands, grabs him, gets a hold of him, holds him down, immobilizes him, and without any emotion whatsoever, she just looks at him, raises one of her fists into, over her head, and just goes, "You will tell me right now where Colonel Van Halen is."
So you do this, right? And he's grabbing your arm and trying to struggle, and it's just like him moving and your arm not moving.
Yes.
Just being like, and he can't really get out of your grip at all, but he's like shuffling down there. And and he looks up to you and he's like, I have no words for a broken machine.
She punches the ground next to him so hard that it splinters. "We try again. You tell me where Colonel Van Halen is right now, or next time that goes through your skull."
So there's like that moment where he's weighing like his options, and in his mind he's thinking, maybe I designed this thing well enough that it cannot actually hurt me. And then he looks at your face and he decides against that option.
Yeah, good idea.
So instead he though Joan has like a complete director's control over her character in this circumstance, the rest of you don't feel compelled to just sit it out. You can interact, you can do whatever you want, right? You can interact with the scene, you can interact with Diamond, you can do whatever. It's just like Joan is accorded that moment of truth, authority in the scene.
Yeah.
But
So you said you knocked out Daniel, correct?
Yes.
As you knocked him out and he was toppling, Nightshade was running towards him, and once he hit the ground, he places both his hands on Daniel, and then starts to slowly pull out all the like Ares serum and everything else they pumped into him.
The form of Daniel Thornton's Ares form like shifts and like groans because it's like as it's regaining its senses of being knocked on its ass, which is not something that creature, like it's not something that is generally a thing it registers as being a thing that can happen in reality. So as it like, you know, like kind of like pulls itself up, it flinches with pain as you do so, and it like lashes out against you, trying to like swat you away as you trying to yank out the poison.
I think black oily tentacles sprout from the ground, trying to keep the monster held down.
Awesome. Roll to unleash your powers.
I am just not working today.
Oh, but maybe some of your friends would like to throw in there and help keeping it down.
I think I'll spend a team as he's trying to like start getting up. I leave one hand on him and then I just rear back and uppercut him.
Now you are presently doing something, and I was thinking.
Oh, it's true.
I was thinking maybe Starlight or Vigil would like to throw in.
Okay.
I think I heard you say something, Starlight.
She's not gonna help her.
All right, you're not gonna chime in there. What about you, Vigil? You gonna help keep this thing down?
This is the reason why we're here.
Yeah, but Starlight doesn't trust Sparrow right now. She using dark powers. Just hurt someone she shouldn't have.
Well, strictly speaking, you don't know that.
No, but I can see all the black shit coming up, and I know who you're fighting.
You know what?
Because I know your secret.
So, I mean, let's be honest here. You did fail that roll to extract her trauma, so I think everyone knows in some respect that something went down here. Like, and I'm sorry for not giving this the attention it deserves, but I'm thinking when you draw on her trauma, like we see the form of the monoclone like kind of like rise as if pulled on invisible puppet strings, like kind of being lifted up in the air, like still slumping on the ground on its broken leg, but like kind of like just being pulled up, and then like the psychic manifestation of all the badness in her, like spilling out of her like facial orifices, her eyes and nose and mouth, as she screams a silent scream, just like, and then like it like flows into your open palm as you like extract it from her, and that like helps to turn your hand red, and then the form slumps down, like drooling and like eyes rolled back in its head.
And Starlight knows your secret. You should not be doing shit like that. That hurts you.
That is true.
And that is a very Raven thing of you to do. Forgive me for not trusting you right now.
I mean, I can perfectly understand that. My point was that you don't actually know the consequences that happened to Moneyclone.
No, but I could see on you that there was something completely wrong.
Yeah, it's true. Like this.
And the black tentacles and shit.
That's not what I objected to it, so that's fine.
Yep. So Starlight is not throwing in a team here to help, but Vigil, are you doing so? I can't hear you, mate.
Yeah. I know. I was just thinking. Yeah, I think he will just. I think he will just grab hulking form of Daniel by the legs and twist them back, and put him basically hold his ankles under his arms and just sit on his back. Just
Nice. Like what like the what's it called, like the camel clutch or something?
Yeah, Boston Crab.
Boston Crab, yeah, that's the one.
Or more popularly, Walls of Jericho.
Alright, yeah, so you like kind of like turn the thing around and like wrench its legs up and it's like starts squirming and kicking. But you like holding it in place as well as you're able, and it just hurts the fuck out of you, but you're like, no, I got this. And as it does so, it can't bring like its one hand up to swat at Nightshade, and because of that, it's
has
only
to
one
tap out.
hand. Because of that, it's only one hand that White Sparrow has to worry about. And so we see these like oily bramble tentacle things like just like enter reality, like being psychically created and shoot forward and wrap around and wrap around the like this creature, like strapping it to the ground, so to speak, from your outstretched hands or whatever. Like I don't know, like wherever it comes from, if it crawls out of your forehead, I don't know.
Yes,
And,
and since it was only a partial success, I'll mark angry, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Seems right. Cool. So would you count? I mean, no. This is perfectly within the scope of your powers. So they're just like looking creepy because you're being a creep. Is that right?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Cool. So that happens. You are in a position to try and make your roll to abate this situation for Daniel. So why don't you roll to? What is this? Are you unleashing your powers here? Are you unleashing your powers, or are you helping? Are you saving someone? You're not defending someone from immediate danger, so it's not that.
I'd say he's engaging directly. He's not using any actual powers. He's putting on a submission hold.
No, I think he's referencing
talking about
to,
me.
Oh, sorry.
My bad. Yeah. Nightshade.
I guess it's I. I don't think it would be savior. It's because I'm not really defending.
Yeah, you are using your powers like.
Yeah, I think it's.
to step out the thing.
I
The
hate
thing is, I think you can do this in multiple ways. It depends on what you think Nightshade's approach to trying to solve this problem is. Like, I know how you described it, but it's also like a question to me, like, what is it that really does this in your mind? Like, if you succeed, why is it succeeded? And then we make the roll based on that.
In that case, it's definitely about saving his best friend. So I would angle for savior just because I have a 3 in it.
All right, let's see if the move matches that description. Then, because if it does, then that is what we're doing. Defend someone. When you defend someone from an immediate threat. Yeah, okay, then that is not it. But I see where you're coming from here. So this is probably unleashing your powers then for the second best. You're trying to overcome an obstacle. The obstacle in this case is your roided out friend.
Yep.
Ooh, look at that.
Nice.
Very good. Very good.
Boosted by Starlight.
All right, that's sweet. And that reminds me. So, looking at the team pool, I was about to say can't actually do that because you don't have the team for it. But I have skipped something important for you guys, and that is that you get team for engaging this situation as a team.
Also Starlight I think, can just boost people.
Yeah, that's right. Starlight has her awesome power. Right, so never mind that actually. Let's have Starlight use her awesome power. So you use your burn to boost him. Is that right, Starlight?
Spend 1 burn to supercharge your teammates' efforts with your powers, giving them a +1 bonus to the roll as if you have spent team from the pool.
Oh, that's so cool.
Definitely, that's really, 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 really good.
So, like,
so she lights up. She won't help Sparrow because she trusts her. Actually, she takes several steps away from her, and then she lights up, and little stars lights up on her, and then they start lighting up on Nightshade.
Oh, that's so cool. Do we get like an over the shoulder like friend back hug touch thing, being like, I got you, bro, as Nightshade is like struggling with the poison, you're being like transferring all the good mojo and like the cosmic powers to him?
She's just supercharging his powers.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, cool. I dig that. So,
her cosmic powers is enhancing his.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think there's like an intermingling of our powers too. Like we see like the cosmic lines coming off of his hands.
I guess just because this is this, you finally realize that she feels like you completely abandoned her. You feel her hurt, but she's still there.
I love it.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you love it, Thamit?
I do.
Okay, good. Then I'm very happy to say yes. That is totally a thing.
It is cosmic powers. You don't really decide what is transferred, especially when you don't know what you're doing.
Oh, that is so good. So by your powers combined, Captain Planet appears and like okay,
Oh
so
God, he went there.
I'm happily unaware of what that meant because I've never really seen superhero movies.
don't worry, it barely classifies as a superhero movie, but it's so yeah, so we see you like use your powers to, as you said, like trying to extract the badness from within him, like trying to extract the serum, and I think what we see as you do so is it's kind of like a Leon Hansi situation where as you do so you can't just like compress it and being like, yes, this will harmlessly dissipate. You're like taking it into you, all right, like not necessarily deliberately, but it's seeping into you, and we see your skin start to change and become grayish, and you start like losing focus a bit, and you feel like a bit like airheaded, and then suddenly a whitish golden light intermingles with the visual effect of the poison being sucked out of him as this kind of mist, and like starts glowing with starlight as you then like start pulling and extracting the poison from within Daniel Thornton, eventually, like over the span of like a very struggling and sweat pouring sequence of them struggling, like you do that.
While that is going on, did I ever actually get a question or an answer to my question?
No, this is happening like simultaneously, so there's like a cut back and forth. So
sure.
We see you like we had that moment of you being like, next time it's gonna go through your head, and there's like that strained close up of Newman being like, and then it cuts down to the action below, and we see like the resolution of that conflict, and then it cuts back up to upstairs where it's like, tell me, you motherfucker, right? Or like in this case, emotionlessly.
Yeah, exactly. She's not shouting at him. She's just demanding an answer, and if he does he actually say anything about that?
He does. He he looks at your clenched fist, and
she punches the ground on the other side of his head, and maybe just close enough that she actually maybe tear at his ear a little, just she says, "Are you lying to me? I really don't like it when people lie to me."
Like the platform you're on is this kind of like wrought iron thing, and your hand just goes through it. It's like, like it's almost like that kind of like it has that almost like Naruto-ish Rasengan thing where you punch it, and it has the kind of dum-dum round explosion on the other side, where it's like the point of impact is just like this very simple like, I'm punching through metal, and on the other end it's just the whole thing just ripping itself apart.
Yeah. Incidentally, she's using the nice little thing in her head she's recording every second of this, because whatever else comes, she's going to make sure that Colonel Van Halen knows that she's been betrayed.
Oh.
But
Diamond, you poor thing. Do you think that every moment isn't being recorded?
No, but she's gonna make sure anyway.
All right, so he looks at you like visibly. You can see that the facade, the veneer of arrogance that is like propping this guy up, just like crumbles away, and he's like, "Okay, don't hurt me. I haven't worked for Van Halen in quite a while, okay? But I do know where the base is at. I know somewhere she operates, and I know she's coming here."
Excellent.
To Halcyon.
Excellent.
Look.
Talk to me.
Look.
And she listens. Yeah.
I can fix this.
No, you can't.
I can make you feel better.
No, you can't.
Take the badness away.
You can tell me exactly what I want to hear, and then you can shut up. I don't trust you to do anything to me. Nothing.
Don't you?
Ever again.
You
created me as a broken thing. You have to live with it.
That is not my fault, he says. Like, he's like doing that, like, he's trying to gesture in a way to like calm you down, but his hands are like just like 2 centimeters from his face because he doesn't really dare stretch them out any further. It's just like, no.
He leans down very close to his face and says, "I don't care about your excuses. I asked you a question. Now answer it."
So what was your question?
Base. That was, he says, I know where the base is. That's what he said, but he hasn't actually told her where the base is. So that sort of thing. So she wants the information out of him before, and yes, she's definitely, being as intimidating as she possibly can. And when he has given the information about where the base is and, she's coming to Halcyon and so on and so forth, then she's going to sock him and knock him out.
I will tell you. I will show you where it is. Just, I need you to not kill me. And I need you to let me use the machine. And I will show you where it is.
You must think I'm very, very stupid.
Look, I wouldn't make such an assumption. You are different. I would say you are broken, but I see now that I am wrong. You are not broken, you are just different.
You are not touching the machine.
I would upload the coordinates to your main hard drive.
You can just tell me. I have good memory.
I am not a military man per se. I know where it's at because I have the data, you see. And he's like looking very like nervously at the holes you've punched in the ground next to him, being like, yes. I will help you. You understand? I just need you to show a little bit of trust for your co-creator. Really, I created the best parts of you, not all the bad things. You see,
right.
You see, my specialty is memories. All the good things you remember, all the things that probably...
Oh, I see. So you created my father and my brother, did you? Those are your creations. I see. How much human is there in me, if any?
He doesn't look like he's willing to answer that question. He's like, I would really rather not. Like, look, what you are is glorious. You were built to be perfect. Yes. You just bumbling hands led you to believe whatever drove you to escape, and the process was cut short. But I promise you, everything you remember can be as real as you want it to be. And he gestures with his hand like to like being like, please behold. And as you like trace his finger, you see like along the walls of one of the adjoining octagonal chambers is like another series of like similar looking pots as the ones from before. But these aren't exactly the same design. These doesn't seem to be like growing tubes. In these things are like fully grown bodies of someone you don't know. Like, and they're clothed in like skin tight suits, and they all have like cables protruding from the back of their heads as they're like hovering in the tank. They're being like, these prove my words. Look, I can create wonder. As
I'm sure you can.
Good or false as you want it to be.
Yes, and I will make sure that nothing is left standing in this place before I leave. I can assure you, I will take your entire life's work to pieces, but you will still have a life once you have told me where to find Van Halen. No more stalling.
Okay, the computer then. Yes? You shall have what you want.
She pulls him off the ground and has a hand around his, the back of his neck in a way where it's not only does it hurt, but it's clear she can snap his neck if she wants to. And she says, the second I see you doing something I do not believe leads to an answer. Also, please remember
when you say that like
Yeah.
twig snapping sound, he visibly flinches like
yeah,
like okay, okay, I'm alive.
you created me to kill. Don't tempt me.
I did not create you to kill. I created you to be flawless. The others, it's that Van Halen woman. She is the one who wanted a weapon.
She just shoves, his head closer to the computer. Work. More work, less excuses.
He starts like typing away slowly, like always like looking at you. He's like trying to work up speed in his fingers as he like hammers away at the keyboard, and then he reaches out like on the console and like pulls a little like cylindric thing up, and it extends into basically what like a technical looking jackstick, and like with a zippy cord, right? Like it's like a elastic cord. He pulls it up and he like extends it to you, and he's like on the back of your skull, if it's still there, if it's not grown over.
So you want to open up my head?
How would a man put something in a box if the box isn't open?
Right? You don't have to do that. I can get somebody I trust to do so.
Okay, just the system is here. It's ready.
Yes.
All your friend has to do is hit the switch, and you will be told all you need to know. Just please, Lee, let me go. I am much too valuable. The thing the world will lose.
But at this point, Diamond looks over towards Starlight.
And you look down, and there's a loud roaring bellow from the creature down below as like roar, and trying to like get itself untangled. As you look down and you see the form of this grey giant start to shrink under what appears to be Nightshade wielding Starlight's power.
Mm-hmm. She raises an eyebrow and she looks at him and says, "Is that another example of perfection, by the way?"
That is a project to tide me over. Really, this whole business here is not all my doing. I am a scientist, you see.
Yes, I mean, she pats him on the shoulder and smiles a little and says, "Yeah, I see. You're clearly a very skilled man.
Look,
both me and him.
This is all Graves."
And then she knocks him out.
Like, this is all great. He goes down.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just like it was like I imagine like just like hitting his head on the console and bonk, and then
and sleep tight.
Yep, down he goes.
Yeah. She looks down towards the others and says, "Starlight, do you have a moment?"
So above you, the machine continues to rumble. Starlight, you of course, like, though your attention might be caught on the goings on down at your level, you hear the call from high above you and see Diamond like looking down from the platform above, in the elevated center of the room, and like calling for you.
Yeah. Is Nightshade done soon?
Right, you come again?
I'm asking you, is Nightshade done soon? Does the man start to look like a man again?
Yeah,
he's still hulking out.
He's like in a constant state of like slowly diminishing in size and scope.
Can I feel if Nightshade has this covered now?
Yeah, you have successfully done this thing.
She nods and, pats Nightshade on the shoulder when she realizes, yeah, he's okay. And then she starts making her way up to Diamond.
We see you like levitate slowly or something.
No, she's walking.
Okay. Yeah, so you like...
She doesn't trust her flying abilities after what last happened when she flew.
Makes sense to me. So yeah, you just like take like a long winding staircase up there. And yeah, you see the same thing I described to Joan, of course. Except like now, instead of the platform being, as I said, and having these adjoining places with tubes in them and so on, now there are like 2 holes in the floor and a knocked out scientist on the ground.
She looks at the knocked out scientist and the 2 holes in the floor. You restrained yourself. I'm proud.
He was part of the team that created me.
I need your eyes.
I need you to do something for me, Starlight. Please.
Okay.
I need you to hit that switch over there in a moment. And if I suddenly turn into a monstrosity and run amok, I need you to turn it all the way up. Will you do that for me?
I have already promised you I'd stop you if it went crazy.
Thank you. And then she reaches up and opens the back of her head, the back of her skull. Basically, there's a click. She opens up a panel, and she inserts the cord.
Yeah.
And
You feel like a little place in the back of your head that you didn't know was there.
Yeah.
And there's like an opening that seems to match pretty well, so you just like insert it. And there is you're just putting in a jackstick, but there is this sense that you just shoved like a 10-foot needle through your face.
Yeah.
Ow.
It's clearly painful. She doesn't try to hide the pain.
Mm.
And then she nods to Starlight and says, "All right, I'm ready."
Tara looks a little concerned, but switches it on.
Alright. So you click the button. Somewhere in the depths of the machine, a bunch of subroutines activate. Inside the mind of Diamond, there is a disappearance of the real world. It sinks away as though you're sinking down a well, and the blackness starts enveloping your sight as the real world becomes tiny pinpricks on the edge of your sight before even that vanishes. And then somewhere in your subconscious, not really on your surface thoughts, but somewhere in your subconscious, a routine activates and some code enters the stream of what you already got going. It intermingles with your core programming. It adds to your data banks. And in that moment, your attention is thrust forth back into like consciousness. And you are familiar with a specific location in your mind. In actuality, the thing that you're looking for is like you're capable of tracking the laboratory, the base.
Yes.
You know where that is, but you can't visualize it.
No, but I know the location. That's the important thing.
Precisely.
If I go there, I will find it, and if it's not on the surface, I'll get a very big digging machine and start going down.
Yeah. And then, like as though invited by a sharp migraine in your skull, you suddenly like hear this like kind of like hiss in your mind. Almost as if you're hearing static. And then, suddenly, and with no real warning to speak of, you hear the loud thrumming of the inside of a helicopter. And suddenly made visible before your open eyes is the form of a single person, a lady wearing combat fatigues. Wearing combat fatigues and like outer protective gear, sitting with like one leg across the other, arms across, beret on her graying head, strapped in a helicopter, flanked by two shadowy figures like seated next to her.
Is there a set of like an internal speaker system in this chopper?
Yeah, like we see this from your perspective, right? And then there's like a panel of the inside of this like of some helicopter of some description. We don't know what it is, but it's like obviously pretty high tech stuff. And there is like this little globoid sphere in the middle of the helicopter projecting your face like basically like your face and shoulders.
Yeah.
But as though like you were in a state of undress. So it's just like you as
Yeah.
you are, and then cut off at the shoulders.
Yes. And, Diamond just very calmly says, I found your scientist, Colonel. I'm gonna find you next. And then she unplugs.
Sweets. So you see this like you have a moment to like register her reaction, right? And when you say that, there's like a moment of her locking eyes with you, and the way she's painted, she's like very cast in shadow, right? Like you can
of course.
tell the contours, and there's like this like almost like bluish glint to her eyes that like makes like that implies like this steely exchange of glares. And then the like metallic thing of a cigar being lit. And her biting down on it. And then, like, just like that exchange of looks, like, I'm coming. And then,
and then the
and you are like,
and she unplugs.
Yeah, you're familiar with the fact that she's on an intercept course for Halcyon. You don't know where, you don't know how long.
No, but she's coming.
Yeah.
So I guess at this point I am going to lock my danger.
All right. What are you locking your danger at?
3. Sweet.
All right. So your danger is permanently at 3. Somewhere in the depths of your brain box, your self image or self identification as a bad motherfucker and a person people should be afraid of,
a weapon,
is cemented.
Yeah, she realizes she's realized here she is a weapon. That's why she asked what she did of the scientist. Did you create? You created all this. Did you create my family?
Oh yeah, you know what? I totally I wanna ram that home like visually. I'm gonna throw some traumatic shit at you.
Yeah, go right ahead.
So as you return to consciousness, the computer program that Starlight has just activated like finishes running, and then the system starts shutting down. And we see like the tanks as you regain consciousness. You're like, okay, I'm here, I'm okay. Then the tanks like on where all these like different forms of different people were in like starts depleting, the fluids start draining. There's a hiss, the things slide open. And with like staggering movement, like kind of zomboid to their movement, these people start like swaying forward as they take like cautious steps out, and they all like look at you. There's like men and women of like varying ages, and like varying looks. Some masculine, some very gaunt, some very beautifully feminine, some like some thin, some skinny. And there's like a total of maybe 10 of them that like start swaying forward out of these pods, and they look at you with a kind of like almost like a sense of familiarity. As they look at you, and they like the same kind of detached look comes over their faces, like as one, as they start speaking the same things but like over each other. Like they're not speaking in one voice. They're like just like kind of like speaking over each other as if not hearing each other. They're being like, where's Jeep? Where's my brother? Where is Dad? Mom? Have you seen my family, please? My dad his name is Julian. He works for the GIs. And like a little girl looks up and he's like, please, can you help me? My name's Jewel. I just need an adult. And like basically like different voices, like you can recognize
repeating her own life story. Basically. At this point, I think she's just sitting there on the edge of the computer or the machine that she's been getting this out of, and she's holding the cord in one hand, and she's not saying anything. There's no real expression on her face, except for the tears running down her cheeks.
Sweet. All right, Starlight. Of course, you two are privy to this like Nightmare Fest cavalcade approaching on swaying footsteps. Down below, the rest of you manage to subdue Daniel Thornton, but Starlight, what's your reaction to this?
Are they up on the same ledge?
Yeah, they are. They're just like across a way and kind of like approaching via an adjoining gangway, seeming to like move with an uncertain purpose towards Diamond, asking a bunch of questions that seem to imply that they're her.
Yeah. They're all asking questions that she has been asking, all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
well,
referring to the
Starlight
same-
doesn't know that.
She's been mentioning her brother.
But she does know Jewel. It's just,
Yeah, exactly. She does know that because she's specifically told Starlight.
And the more they like walk and the less unsure their steps become, the more power starts entering their voices. And it's this like creepy escalation of being like, we don't know what we're doing, join the herd, to like start having some more recognizable zest in their voice, right? Like one of the women in there who's like has a completely shaved head but otherwise kind of like looks reminiscent of Diamond, like in a perfect mimicry basically of Diamond's tone, is like, hey you, I asked you a question, where's my mother? Like it just like starts basically taking on like a Diamond-esque mannerisms and like edge in their voices as they start moving forward.
That is so creepy.
yeah. That's very creepy. Starlight just walks up beside Diamond, flares up, and overcharges her abilities so she assuredly gets Diamond with her.
Yeah.
And poofs.
You're just GTFOing on this one.
Yeah, they have Daniel under control.
Yeah, where
They're
do you
doing
mean to
fine.
go? Do you mean to go down to your friends and get out, or do you mean to like?
Yeah,
Okay.
he poofs with Diamond down there. Surprisingly enough, Starlight is holding on to Diamond.
All right. So
We need to get out now, guys. Right now.
Okay, I think Daniel is good for the moment.
Ah, good. Hold on to me.
All right, I reach out my hand.
Well, she's already got a hold of Diamond.
So here
What's
is
that?
here is a question for you, and it's because I don't want to be that guy who's like, yeah, but you didn't think about this thing, so haha. Especially in your moment of truth. I'm gonna, like, all of you probably know and are aware of this, but I'm gonna put this initiative on Diamond. Diamond, the huge chemical cocktail concocting monstrosity in the center of the room. Though the terminal powering it is shutting down, like the input terminal, the machine is still like, it's not spewing smoke, it's too high tech for that, but it's still like humming with internal power and doing shit. And you're aware that whatever it's been set to do is like still going on because it's not been stopped. It's probably bad news. But
Starlight,
do you care in this moment?
Yes, she does. Starlight, we have to destroy what is inside that vat, or I think the whole city is going to end up like Daniel.
I know. That's why you need to hold on to me so I can shield you.
Okay, thank you.
I think when Nightshade hears that from Diamond, he stands up and steps back away from Starlight.
Who?
Looks at Starlight and says, keep him safe, I'll take care of this. This doesn't need to happen to anybody else. And he slowly starts walking towards the machine in the center, the big vat.
So upon your approach to the machine, suddenly in almost like a mirror image of the events that transpired when Diamond initially charged, a couple of people fall off from this ledge above and land. And these are like the people I described before, right? Like varying males and females wearing the same kind of like tight bodysuits with like injector suctions, like sockets in them. land as if to bar your path. And now they're starting to speak with like a lot of power and ferocity and kind of like, tell me, you know something. I'm gonna break you.
Pretty much all of them speak in Diamond's voice.
Yeah, but like again, like different tones, different like pitches, and saying different things. But like they seem to like getting. Basically, what they're doing is they're like starting to adapt to your personality, while also starting to adapt their weapon programming. Right, so they're.
Oh God!
They're going.
We don't need that many diamonds. So at this moment, I'm going to activate my moment of truth.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Two of them in a row. This is fucking epic.
That's cray. Let's see what your moment of truth is. This is wow. Okay. The mask is a lie, and some piece of you have always known that. Doesn't matter if others can see it. You're the one that can do the impossible. Mask off, costume on, and you are going to save the damn day. Of course, you better hope nobody nasty is watching.
Yeah, so to emphasize that, I think Nightshade does, he pulls his hood back and looks at the rest of the team and says, go. And then turns around, and then you see him start dissipating into a cloud. And then he starts ripping through all of the different.
Went acidic or something nasty.
No, he rips through all the people there, and as he passes through each one of them, you notice like the injector vials and everything empty. He's taking everything with him as he passes through them, and then you see the cloud move into the machine and into the vat.
Wow, that's cool.
And then inside, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no. I think I was just gonna say I'm gonna definitely do what he says, and I'm gonna, try to get the others to come along, ushering people out if they're not moving on their own accord, because I think Diamond at least has some kind of vague, faint idea that, staying in this room in a few moments is going to be a very terminal experience.
I think Starlight was planning on teleporting us out. But that's just my guess.
Is that the plan, Starlight?
I thought she was going to burn out what was in the vat.
She was gonna make a moat around us, then destroy everything in the vat. So, kind of moat around us, and then this room ceases to exist.
Yeah, make a safe bubble and then glass the place. All right. So now that Starlight has been like, no, I got this. Like, get out. What's the plan?
Nightshade.
Nightshade. Wow.
You are so good with the names, Daniel.
I'm bad with names IRL, but this is just horrid. Like, all right, yeah. So when Nightshade steps forth, like manning up, as he moves forward, it does the classic fucking thing, right? Where like, does his back seem a bit broader, right? Like, has he grown taller? What is this? And yeah, just like cowl down, face up, walking towards the thing with the determined Terminator walk of a hero about to do some shit.
I were about to say that Starlight would yell after him, "Don't be a hero," and then I realized what we were playing and thought, nah.
What are you doing? Don't be a hero. Be a superhero. Let's do it. And starts playing an air guitar.
And we're seriously about to say, "Don't be a fucking hero," and then, never mind.
All right. So the lot of you, as Nightshade moves forth to deal with this, what do? You are now like the lot of you are there. The diamond approximation weapon thingies are basically like being tussled with by like a smoke monster. And Daniel Thornton is soundly asleep on the floor.
We should take him with us.
Please.
No, just leave him.
He's the reason we're here, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I think in the case of White Sparrow, she looks, to the scene, briefly glances at Money Clone, and then she takes a step backwards into into the shadows, and then there's just the faint sound of insectoid wings as she turns into a dragonfly and flies away as fast as she can.
All right, so you do all of you like up and leave the place? Is that the plan, like getting out before things go haywire?
Finn for a moment is like, yeah. He looks at Diamond, still like grinding his teeth, and like, you and Starlight go, I'll catch up. And he goes.
Question it. She doesn't question it.
Yeah.
This is a great like heroic gesture. Now I know that Diamond is like in the kind of a zone right now where she'd be like, yeah, you know what, like not really paying attention, right? Like you got some stuff right now.
Yeah, I do.
Now for the others among you, you feel free to react however you want, but there is kind of maybe a sense of doom to Vigil being like, I'll catch up, while he's clearly in a shitty state, right? Like he's like limping and fucking everything is just like, and he's like heaving for breath and being like, ow.
Starlight's not buying it. She just looks at Diamond and then goes, yeah, could you hold on to me? Then she reaches down to take Daniel's hand. Then she just reaches out, takes Vigil and said, no! And poof!
He tries to speed away.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna fucking catch you. You're not staying here, you shitty bitch.
Alright. So why don't we have this be like
it's basically, I think, unleash the powers opposite.
You unleash your powers to dodge out of the way. That's the solution here.
That will go really well.
Well, you might get then that second to last miss you need.
Yeah.
He said, no! I can run! Fuck my foot! Fuck, oh my arm! Oh my leg!
So basically,
didn't he have a fractured rib or two or something? That might be why he's not really being very speedy.
I mean, that is what this is, right? This is...
Or he just didn't expect Starlight to just reach out for him.
This is you getting another condition, right? And it has the effect you would imagine. So this is you being like, no, wait, no, I'm guessing this is you, like, you're expecting Nightshade to maybe do something stupidly heroic, and maybe you would have to be there to help him.
Once he wakes up, he will explain why he wanted to do this.
That's fine. Whatever motivates you, you're about to be like, no, I will speed out of the way of this. And as you just like start on it, your leg just like you punch your leg down into the ground, being like, I'm about to like gain some momentum and use my super speed, and it just becomes this javelin of pain up your entire body, like ow, and like you lose your breath, you like almost fall sideways, and just like
I would say you know it,
yeah, like before you know it, you'd be like fucking and then down comes the hand, just touches you, and then out you go. And then, yeah, you can be in whatever stage of consciousness you want upon arriving. But yeah, it's just like being, oh wait, like suddenly changing into super speed, bad decision, feeling dizzy, change scenes. And whoosh.
Yep.
Now,
and my guess is, I'm just going to suggest, because it's past deadline, so would that not just be the best cliffhanger ever, with most of the group going whoop out of there, and just as Nightshade slinks into this enormous vat? I'm just saying.
I get you. What I'm gonna do is not that, though. I appreciate the suggestion, because I want to like go like I want to have the on-screen recognition of this moment of truth. I want to hear what Nightshade is doing.
Right.
And that makes so we can wrap this up, because we are definitely heading into an arc. So having a full wrap up here is very much up my alley. So as you escape from this compound, we retain focus on Nightshade. As you like seep into the vat, and you find yourself in like this torrential maelstrom of blue mixed with some kind of like deep purple. Like, whirling with what seems to be almost like a malefic sentience. What do you do in here? Like, as you are suddenly in here, you can feel your own form mixing with this, like with this thing. It's almost as if it's trying to assert a kind of like wicked will on you, whispering to the worst parts of you, whispering to that bullshit like alpha male gene that would drive you to override other people's opinions, that would drive you to be like a dick and like roar and pound your chest. And yeah, caught in that as you are, what do you do? What does Nightshade do in this his moment of truth?
And so as he like seeps into the vat, he kind of like reforms in the middle of it, and it's just like a panel of him just sitting suspended in there, and he thinks to himself as he's in there, he's like, "This happened to Daniel. It's not going to happen to anybody else." And the next panel is basically he opens up his eyes, but they're all purple. They're just filled with different chemicals and shit that has been mixed inside of his body. And then he slowly dissipates into the liquid inside this vat. And as he dissipates through the entire system, the liquid inside turns clear. It becomes water. He's basically purifying everything as he goes through it.
That seems like an awesome thing. Can I amend that with a thing I want to throw at you?
Yeah.
All right. So we see you purify this, right? And remember to like just be like, no, Daniel, that's not how it goes. If that's not how it goes, but we see you like basically driving this off, like, and then almost like hovering, like you're sitting in there. I'm imagining you being almost in like full lotus, like hovering like your fucking Zenyatta in the tank, like,
right?
Pass into the iris, folks. And yeah, the thing just like changes color and like seems to like dissipate and turn from this horrid mess into like harmless gas and like harmless air. But the thing you have absorbed is like visibly damaging to you. You can like see like black veins on your body. You see like your eyes like turning purple and like reddish, and you're like, it seems as though you're about to die. Like you're taking in so much. You're sitting there in perfect serenity, but it's clear, like from the way you're drawn, that guy's about to eat it for the team, right? He's about to eat it for Halcyon. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
But then, and because I'm looking at your playbook here, and you have an ability that we've so far used in one aspect only. You have substance mimicry, which allows you to absorb and like do stuff with toxins. So far.
Mm-hmm.
But in this, your moment of truth, I'm thinking this is where you actually gain a further depth and comprehension of your powers as a Janus with substance mimicry. As you like stop hovering and like just touch down, touching your feet to the floor, and like just stand up there, toxins swirling through your body, ready to essentially die. Like I'm not saying your character's like, yes, I am now willing to lay down my life for this. You can be if you want to.
Oh, he definitely would though.
Yeah, so you have that moment, and then you don't, and we see you open your eyes, and your eyes are like this blank chrome, and we see you like having changed form, costume and all, like into metal. Into the metal underneath your feet, like this, just like this chrome surface of steel that you're standing on from within the tank, as you have like mimicked the subject the material you're in contact with.
Mm-hmm. And so I think at this moment he kind of like, you see him flex his fingers and look down at him.
Yeah.
And then like deadpan looks right at the screen and then just smiles, and that's the end of the comic.
Nice.
Let me guess. He just got to be antidote for this bullshit serum as well.
Yes.
So yeah, basically what this is like, as a person comprised of metal, naturally like fatal biological toxins have a entirely different non-existential effect on you, non-existing effect on you, and yeah, like upon this thing ending, you will then have like turned back into a person, like a regular flesh and blood human. But you are now like you are now like capable of using your substance mimicry power suite, like to do substance
Pretty much on
mimicry.
anything. Yeah.
Oh my god. Have him
yeah.
touch cheese.
Oh, ew.
Really
in
smelly cheese.
Or in Diamond's case, touch a hot dog.
Oh no!
Be careful, she's going to take a bite out of you.
Then we have found out how to stop her. We just have him touch
I
the
could
pizza.
have said that she was going to eat him, but she wouldn't.
We'll have him mimic a pizza. That's the perfect way to stop
There you
Diamond
go.
if she ever goes bad.
Ew.
Oh, that's a very good way of chasing her out of her room. She go
Pizza fingers.
and then runs.
All right, so I'm glad you went with my little antic there, and yeah, that was
I
awesome.
like it.
So the lab is basically like on so just to give a wrap up to this, right? Like the lab is essentially rendered inert. The scientist in question is being left unconscious. We won't know what his fate is, but
Well, not yet anyway.
there is
We will eventually, I'm sure.
there is stuff there for the future. A couple of a bunch of clones have a fate we're not familiar with. Most of them probably like returning to being inert and then eventually dying, because they don't have the capacity to really be alive, for real, right? Yet, at least.
They were taken out to
Exactly, unfinished.
like Monica, money clone.
Yes, and
Or
like taking a clay figurine out of the oven too soon, it breaks apart at the smallest touch.
Or a baby too soon. They don't really have the ability to live.
Yeah, that's true. Babies also break apart at the slightest touch. I don't like babies. Sorry. that is my excuse for not really liking being around children. My brain has two baby settings. It's either this is kind of adorable or oh god, it's dead.
I broke it.
Yep.
Don't
So-
give it to no. Don't. It's peeing now. It's your no. Don't give it to me. No, go away.
Precisely. But enough about my stance when it comes to babies. Let's go into our end of session moves.
Yay.
For this affair here. So starting at the top, Diamond. What a
Oh,
session.
Jesus Christ. Yes, that is such a good question because she really went through the whole gamut today. There's a situation where several situations where she grew away from the team, obviously. There's a situation where she grew closer to the team, and there is a lot of coming to know herself a lot better.
Yep. So which one to you best embodies what you want to be the case for Diamond? Is Diamond in knowing herself and in having done this with her team closer to them? Or is the realization of what she is too horrible for her and like distancing her? Or is she
No,
just
I
more
think-
in tune with herself?
I think this, and I'm gonna make some edits. In fact, I've already been doing a few edits. I just haven't saved changes yet to her character bio because of this. I think, regardless of everything else that happened, the most important thing that happened today was that she finally came to some kind of very uncomfortable and twisted sort of peace with the fact that she is, in fact, a created weapon.
Yeah, and I think
And
like
that means that she grew into herself.
okay. So you explained how you see yourself, and you explained why. We know why. Shift one label up and another label down.
Yeah, and now at least her danger is permanently locked. But what I'm going to do is, because she has been an absolute fucking mess of damage and uncontrollable rage and
Superior down.
no savior down.
Ah, yes. Yeah,
she-
throwing your teammate through a wall is not good savior.
no, it's really not, and and she's gonna move her freak back up despite all the hard work that everybody's been doing. Freak goes back up.
Listen, I mean, Diamond was just throwing him out of the way of the robots, helping him dodge.
Yeah,
Yes,
really,
yes,
really,
that's-
Really
That's
should just
true.
let him in on the kills, right?
Yes, that's true.
We're doing this as a team. I'm gonna use you as a mallet now. Sit still.
Yes, it's something along those lines. No, in all seriousness, it's gonna be. Obviously, it's going to be. She's. We've talked about, how there needs to be a team meeting, and this is a mess because it's not even any longer a matter of whether she screwed up, because I think the only person who did not in some way screw up in that situation, or the only people that didn't, were Nightshade and Starlight. Everybody else made some serious blunders today.
I mean, being a lover of the angst aspect of teen fiction, right, and like being much appreciative of the idea of failing forward as part of a role playing game, I am personally hella stoked for the fact that like almost not entirely, but almost all of you fucked up in some way, and like yet this is a victory. Right, you're being like, we did it, yay!
Yay. Yippee!
So yeah, I'm a big fan of that, and yeah, I look forward to seeing the future for based on this. There is definitely an arc coming up. So, okay, grow closer to the image of yourself. Well done. Next up is Finn. Finn, dude, tell me about your end of session move here.
Well, there is only one option that gives me potential, but I'm kidding now. Take. Yeah, it's grow away from the team, clearly.
Why do you feel detached?
He got thrown through a robot.
Because his bones got detached, that's why.
Yes. Because I have a couple broken ribs, probably internal bleedings, and a couple of other things. But it's mostly that it's like he feels right now that like is in general the entire team being far too like lenient for like Diamond's antics, and it's just like, and it's just further exemplified by Terra just tossing him into the wall, knocking him out, and then it's just like yeah, so it's just like
Definitely.
he feels that this team is like eroding itself.
So loaded question here, but I'm allowed to do that because I'm the GM. So I mean everyone can do it, but loaded question here. So bunch of failure from Mitchell today, right? Like lots of failure, lots of like things leading into more things, all of them going wrong. And the times that you were like I'm not trying to be an ass when I say the times you contributed, but that was like when you were like the times where Vigil was helping the situation was when he was spending team. So how does that manifest in the way he looks at the situation? Does he project the feeling of like I'm growing away because the team sucks, or is he like on some level like, does he believe that he fucked up, like that he should like do something more different, or like is there a balance being struck here?
I would say he was like at the moments that he was spending team, I think once, and he is spending team just because I would say he had well, he was feeling he had to, because that's how he was trained. That's what that was the thing to do in the moment. But he does feel that this team is falling apart, and he remembers that before Diamond joined, the team was working, or either starting to work.
Right, so you're being like, oh, with the new element is obviously what's going on.
Like he's like, in his mind, correlation does mean causation because
this is
he's a teenager.
I was gonna call it the teenage thing, but it's just such a fucking human thing. Being like, oh, I have a rivalry with this person, therefore everything wrong in my life is their fault.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right. So can I am yeah okay. So take influence over you away from another character.
You know who you are.
Yep.
Diamond. Diamond.
Not a problem. It's removed.
Yeah, it's fun.
Sweet. The influence tango continues.
Yes.
So good. I love it. Okay. Sweet.
Good. Neither of them have influence over the other now, I think.
This will end up on like a shady rooftop with fists flying.
Yeah. I mean,
I
that's...
think at some point it's gonna end up going really badly wrong.
I mean, it's obviously like moving in the perfect direction, right? Like internal animosity, like maybe eventual reconciliation, maybe eventual mutual death and destruction. Who knows? It's gonna be.
We
great.
have shit approaching from all directions, and we are definitely headed for a shitstorm.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Now, of course, and keep this in mind, all of you, because these are moves we don't see that often. I don't know that it's because I don't set them up enough, but just remember, the Pierce the Mask move and the Comfort and Support move are both excellent tools for dealing with a lot of this shit, like, and taking all my crap as the GM is being like, oh, you failed a roll, let me tell you how bad that sucks. But you as the players have tools provided to you by the game for being like, actually, GM, you see this finger? This is for you. Fuck you. I'm going to like give this narrative an injection of me trying, and then like you can then do whatever you want with it, right? But
I was actually gonna pierce the mask until Diamond took over the scientist and threatened his life. So
yeah, that's a like good call for you. But I just wanted to like lay that out there, right? So because it's I think personally at least, like I would have an easy time being like, okay, well the thing the GM says is the thing we'll do, but you have these tools because the game wants you to be like, maybe you want to engage here in a different way, and just reminding you.
So just to be sure, piercing the mask, that's kind of like Pathfinder Sense Motive, or
Piercing the mask, yeah, I guess kind of, but it's about well, it's in essence it gives you the ability to ask some of these questions. You're gonna ask up to 3 of these questions, which is, what are you really planning? What do you want me to do? What do you intend to do? How could I get your character to blank? And how could I gain influence over you? So it's a way of like, it's a way of you to be like, as a player, I would totally want to do this thing now and like propel the narrative in this way. How can I do that? And it also, of course, reflects your character being insightful and empathic, and maybe a conversation happening, you know, whatever. But it's a tool for you to use internally in the group, as well as externally on PCs, be they villains or heroes or friends or foes.
okay.
So, sorry about
Yeah,
my little rant
I
there.
really do think that Finn is joining the bad guys.
I'm guessing Soren the Shamed might be sprung out of prison soon.
I'm saying if it's situated, I'm not.
Shut up, Rasmus! Don't steal my thunder.
Yeah, I'm not planning on it. You know, I'm just preparing myself for the inevitability of it. If the situation keeps like it is.
Oh yeah. Next up, Starlight. How do you feel at the end of this session? What do you think is true for your character here?
Didn't you just skip Nightshade?
I did, didn't I? I totally did. Sorry. Pardon what? Nightshade.
Starshade.
It's because you infused him with your
Nightstar.
power, okay? I'm
Nightlight.
looking at the character, I saw like Nightshade was glowing, and I was like, no, now it's the other way around. Yeah.
It's Nightlight.
Nightlight.
Oh god.
Flashlights.
Then who has
Nightshade.
to touch someone first?
What do you think
The
is the
cute
case
ones
here
that
at the end of the
lights up
session?
children's rooms at night. Nightlights.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe it's
like
too
on
late.
You're all awful.
We know. We should actually be a villain team, but we ended up as heroes. We don't know what happened.
I'm just gonna make a note here to make a a Hydra that is basically all us. It's like
Yay!
they're like a bickering nerd Hydra.
I like that. Well, we should
That's
still
awesome.
hear what Thelmid has to say.
Definitely not closer to the team because we're a hot fucking mess right now.
Mm-hmm.
Away from the team, no, I think grew into my own image. Just because I stepped up, saved the day, moment of truth, and also I found that I have a cool new power.
Sweet.
Or an upgraded new power.
What did you say you kicked up and down?
Let's see. My savior is locked after the moment of truth.
Yeah.
I think riding the high of like, hey, I have this awesome new superpower, I'm going to lower my mundane and up my freak.
All right.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a bunch of fun, like, with you being like, oh, you failed this role, while like trying to talk to this girl you want to bring to the dance. Well, now suddenly you're made of like the varnish of the locker you're leading.
Suddenly you're made of her.
Yeah.
Flesh?
No, suddenly no.
Suddenly you're made of
bits
pink
her.
vinyl.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Cheap lipstick.
Then it's Starlight time. Starlight, shed
Yeah.
some starlight on you. Yeah, what do you feel at the end of this?
Oh no.
Did you grow closer? Did you grow further away?
With as little as I did today, I can't really tell.
Well,
I
let's
didn't do
see
much.
what you did do. Basically, almost, I don't know how you feel about this. I feel like almost everything you did in some way or respect related to the team. You're being
Trying
like,
to save everything from going completely fucking haywire.
yeah, I feel like basically everything you were doing today was like running damage control on the team. Being like, no,
Yeah.
this is gonna work because I say so.
But there is no end of session move calling fail at being a parent.
No, but I guess the question then becomes, do you feel like putting that effort forward? And essentially it worked, right, a lot of the time. The reason the whole fucking ship stuck together and didn't sink was at least partially because of you, that you were there to be like, okay, no, I'm gonna give you powers here so you don't screw this up. Here, I'm gonna shoot these spiders so that they don't kill you. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that.
You
you
could
feel like-
argue that with you having sort of told Nightshade how you feel, you grew kind of closer to him, at least.
That is also...
Well, in a kind of macabre sense, she also feels like she understands Diamond a little better after all this. She did see everything up there.
Yeah,
That's true.
She did.
She understands where she's coming from, and she still don't see the same thing Diamond sees.
Which is, I guess, in my opinion, perfectly fine. But that's a curious case for the character, right? And being like, okay.
But
so-
it's also a way for her to feel closer to her, because she feels
True.
she kind of understands her.
Yeah.
I feel like Starlight is like Starlight. The fact that Starlight as a person can be like, oh yeah, this person is like a human weapon. Like this is a horrible thing constructed by evil men in a laboratory to destroy things, and be like, no, I'm not judging. Like that's such a cool thing. Like being like, no, you, that's fine.
She's
You are what
more
you made.
like, she's more like, yeah, you were made in a tube. There's a lot of babies who are made in a tube. I still feel safe in your arms. I don't care.
So sweet. So, what do you feel? Do you feel you go closer, further apart
Mm,
into your own self-image?
she probably grew closer even though everything went to shit.
I mean, it is from adversity that we know our friends, right? So, who made you feel the most
feels
welcome?
like she understands it a little better.
Yeah. Who would you argue made you feel more welcome?
Mm,
Is it Diamond because you like felt like you understand her, or is it someone else for another reason? Is it Nightshade for team working?
Diamond because she felt like she started to understand where Diamond came from.
Cool.
Nightshade because he also tried to keep the team together, kind of.
Yeah. Which would you call it?
A for effort, man. A for effort.
It's like trying to corral cats.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You. No.
Okay, there is an excellent video out there that you should look up afterwards, some kind of commercial or something of cowboys corralling cats.
I mean, I have to go watch that, but let's round this
Yeah.
off then. So, would you give
Talking of
influence
pets,
to?
no,
Would you give?
Felix down from the table.
Did you get control of your own cat?
Yeah.
Okay. Would you give influence then to Nightshade or Diamond?
I'm probably giving it back to Nightshade.
All right.
Woo!
So, do you have influence over Starlight?
No, because
Right.
it was taken away a couple sessions ago.
Sweet.
Yes, it was.
Now you do. AJ, you may mark a clearer condition or mark potential for Starlight.
I think I'm gonna give myself a fecking challenge and mark a potential and try to come up with a new move for next time.
Sweet. Do you unlock a new advancement?
Yeah, I do.
Cool.
Awesome.
If you want to talk about that, I am all ears for the entirety of the next week. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, last but not least, White Sparrow.
Hi.
So, some questions for you. First and foremost, your end of session move. Did you grow closer to the team, into your own self-image, or further away from the team?
I think in a sort of twisted way, she grew into her own self because she realized that there's definitely a darker side to her powers and that she can draw on it. And also...
That she will draw on it in moments of weakness?
Exactly.
How does that... I'm curious. Like, the answer to me is pretty obvious that it's not something you're jazzed about, but just in your own words, like, how does White Sparrow like feel about that thing that happened? The fact that she was like allowing herself to do that.
Well, let's just say it's quite deliberate that she, aside from Nightshade, is the only one who didn't leave together. She went out of her own way instead of going with Starlight. She has some soul searching to do.
You just couldn't look your team in the eyes.
Yep.
Sweet. All right. So into your own self-image. Sweet. I understand why. How do you see yourself? It's a scary motherfucker.
I'm going to put my savior down and my freak up because I did kind of destroy the mind of someone I considered a person.
Wow. For you to drop your savior, that is pretty wild. Okay.
It is
Well,
completely on brand for what happened here, so good on you.
Yeah. It kind of fits with the purpose of her, yeah, I don't fucking care that you're an innocent bystander. I'm gonna, oh fuck.
And then immediately afterwards, oh, fuck, what did I do?
Yeah. That was such a Raven thing to do. Bad Sparrow.
So Raven.
I have a I'm like in two minds about what happened because there's a thing about it that I really love, but that I also like kind of like am worried about. So I want to take your input here. You did the thing you did to gain the power to really help the situation along, right? You were like, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna get infinite power, and I'm gonna be super helpful.
Yes.
And upon the moment of you doing that, the two others activate their moments of truth and just like ram the scene. And like it's not like you didn't help because you totally did, but I'm curious, like in that moment, what I'm seeing is some kind of like hyper poetic statement about the cost of power and so on. And like I'm seeing this like great tragedy in my head of White Sparrow being like, no, I will like sacrifice this like innocent creature's mind and like trauma to power myself so I may help the situation. I can do it. And then as you do so and you're like, yes, now I can help, then the situation is, I don't want to say taken away from you, but like your team takes charge of it, right? The people you didn't quote unquote trust to have it in hand, like just cleans house. And then you're standing there with like a bad decision behind you and all this power.
Yeah,
I thought that was awesome, but I'm also kind of scared of it because like I hope you didn't feel like it was like, yeah, now I did that and now suddenly the scene is like being assumed control of by these other people.
No, because it was, I mean, when it's that guy, it's quite clearly a diamond-related scene. And it's quite easy for me to also, in the fiction say, well, obviously, having realized what she just did, Sparrow is stunned. So no, it makes perfect sense.
Okay, I'm glad you feel that way. And it's a thing that I tried to also like make a note of it, but I want to just drive it home again that in a scene where someone activates a moment of truth does not equate that they will win. It equates that they get a certain kind of directive authority over certain aspects of their character, and everyone else is free to still interact with the character, with the scene. Like if one of you would have been like just for an example, right? Like if Joan had been like, I'm gonna punch a hole in the ground next to this guy, I'd be like, you're gonna tell me, you fuck-witting monkey, like tell me the thing I want to know. Like, and you would be like, I'm gonna fucking jump Diamond and like hold her back. In that case, Joan has her moment of truth active, and as a bull can be like, yeah, I shake you off and keep punching the ground. But you're still free to do that thing. You don't have to step back and not engage with your character, even if the person has direct authority over certain aspects in the scene. So
Makes sense.
So just like to bring that forward, right? Because it, I don't want it to seem like you have to step back when someone activates their moment of truth, au contraire, right? You are freely encouraged to engage. It's just that that person now can move in a different way.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Cool. So, yeah, that's your end of session move. And of course, I need to ask you, even though I feel like I know the answer, but please do tell me. Do you feel like you should mark your Doom track for this session?
No, because this was obviously a very light-hearted session of just happiness and puppies. And I did nothing but laugh and have fun and frolic, so yeah, I'm marking my Doom track.
All right.
So yeah, I'm marking my Doom track.
No progress on defeating your nemesis. So yeah.
Quite the contrary.
All right. Well.
Oh, before we go, Daniel, I do have a question.
Oh yeah.
Actually,
shoot away.
Because I did take my mask off in the facility, did anybody see my secret identity?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna mark potential for that. Also, my game face move upon completion, I also mark potential. So would you agree that I saved Daniel and that move is now complete?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely it is. Good on you.
And then I also have guilty marked and was ready to sacrifice myself to save everybody else. Would that clear my guilty condition?
Yes.
Awesome.
That's
all my questions.
House.
So, just like it's not like we saw this because it didn't devote a scene to it or like devote a cutaway to it, which I totally should have. But hey, still learning, I guess.
Yeah.
Among the people who saw who you were, like a couple did, but there are two specific individuals who you don't want knowing it who now know.
Okay.
Chiefly, first of which is the person in charge of the local surveillance of the place, the person who will look at the tape of what happened down there and be like, oh, okay, I see. Deacon Graves knows your secret identity.
Oh, great.
And number two, Wisecrack, who is watching from the shadows, knows your secret identity.
Oh, lovely.
I'd be more scared of him because he
Yeah.
has more room to act directly. Or rather, he's the more immediate danger. Graves is probably the more long.
He's also insane.
Also,
yeah.
I'm going to like deliberately keep be vague about like, did any quote unquote diamonds in the rough survive this thing? Like, is diamond clones like a thing in the future? Am I gonna go Todd McFarlane on this storyline? Who knows? And if that's the case, then maybe some of them who know who you are like recognize
In that
your
case,
face.
we need a snappy nickname for them, and I don't have one right now.
It's just gonna be the crystal gems, isn't it? It's gonna be like quartz,
Sapphire,
and,
ruby.
We're about to say
Oh.
it. They can't really be diamond because there's only one diamond, but they're still jewels. So
Well, yep, you're completely right, AJ. Anyway, we are now up like this last for you lovely folks on YouTube, hello, you've now watched us for 2 hours and 14 minutes. Good on you. This has been a long last hours of this recording, but it's all worth it. So thank you guys so very much for joining me in this. It's fun to get back into it. I am super duper ready to get into more of this. I know what arc is gonna come now, and I just need to set it up. I will do so in some GM prep that will find its way onto YouTube. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed yourself. I certainly did. Thanks for playing, everyone.
Bye.
What?
Awkward silence.
Fuck that guy. I cannot.
We are thanking you for nothing.
I can't believe he said he enjoyed that. Did you see the amount of misses we rolled? What an asshole.
Hey, I enjoyed. I own my misses.
Well,
It was
anyway,
very
sounded
enjoyable,
wrong.
Daniel.
yeah. Thank you for pity validating me here. That's it's all good. So I'm just playing, of course. I appreciate it. And you, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in and watching us play Masks. As always, hell of a blast of a time. And we certainly hope you will continue to join us and watch more Masks. Which actually reminds me, because I'm about to trail out of this now, but we should do the last thing we do before we end. We should talk about the cover of this comic book and the title of it, and then we shall wrap up. I'm sorry for teasing you guys watching. What's the cover of this thing?
I think it should be Nightshade in the in doing the whole Zenyatta thing in a swirling mass of something bluish and scarlet red-ish.
For some reason, I'm imagining almost a Star Wars poster, like the initial New Hope, initial old the old Star Wars posters, where having Van Halen take the place of Emperor Palpatine in the background, and then Diamond also placed prominently in the shot, and then
but is she one of the good ones or the bad ones?
I mean, that is definitely up to you, but yeah, I would certainly hold Diamond to be a hero of this story. So
I had kind of thought that the cover would be the scene where we see the lonely shade of Nightshade walking into the big vat. You can just see death and destruction. He's all alone. And in the shadows, you can see several figures in this mist that says, "Hey, I'm Jewel, where's my mom?"
Yuck.
Oh.
AJ, you have a creepy mind sometimes. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's really good.
And somewhere you can see on the other side, there's a little hand where you can see the face of a child, Jewel, saying, "Where's my mom?"
Yuck. I dig it.
Creep. We just went full horror here, didn't we?
This is the.
No one said this was for children.
Nope, true.
No, this is for teens. This is seinen.
Ow.
Anyway, okay. So do we know what the title of this this comic book issue is?
Well, shut up, Cat.
Okay.
That's gonna be what AJ said.
Yep. It's official.
Well, shut up, Cat.
I'm sorry. The cat is annoying. He keeps begging for food. And when I tell him to stop, he just growls a little at me. You know, that sassy, I'm original.
It's fine. We don't need to have a title for the issue if nothing springs.
I was gonna say what you said before, a diamond in the rough.
True.
Did we have Diamond in the Rough earlier? I feel like that's the name
did
of
we?
the first issue.
Yeah, we did.
Dang it.
Yeah, that was the first one, yeah.
The other jewels.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if we've had it before,
Cracked diamond.
but another classic is Growing Pains.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's better. That's
Great.
better.
Yeah, I like
great.
it.
I love it. Thank you, sweet Rasmus. All right.
You're welcome, honey.
And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we close the issue. We close Growing Pains. We have the creepy as fuck front page cover. And thank you very much for joining us on this. Now, it's not a fake out this time. Now, we are going to end for tonight. So, Thank you for joining us on CharismaToAC. We will hope to see you here again in the future for even more roleplay goodness. Thank you guys for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Bye!
Bye.
Ow!